And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your Tuesday. How's it going, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Christian seems a little salty today,
yeah, what's
though.
his deal?
I honestly don't know. Maybe he dislikes Tuesdays as much as I do.
Huh. Because of the power poll? I'm working on it as we speak.
No, I'm disappointed in my hometown.
I saw this. The Scotty. I thought you were mad at Scotty. Scotty is running down Brigham City right now on the social medias.
Fill me in. I saw Scotty had some sort of incident with it.
Well, Scotty lied about someone in front of him hitting a deer. Scotty absolutely obliterated a deer while he was driving. No doubt about it. Probably mowed him down on purpose and popped some tires on the way. Now, where was he? Assuming he was driving to Logan or from Logan?
It sounds like it was on the way back home from Logan after the Utah State game.
Yeah, they beat Weber.
Westminster.
Somewhere in Sardine Canyon. Assuming maybe around Manaway, if he got towed to Brigham City.
So Scotty G maniacally driving down the canyon, trying to hit every living creature he can, just riding high off of beating Westminster, the Griffins, and pops some tires and ends up at a tire store in Brigham City. Now, this is where the story goes off the rails. And it's a slight detail that I'm not sure I understand. Scotty said he tried to sleep in his car for the night. I get it's like a beautiful fall that we've had. It's 40 degrees at night. You can't sleep in your car when it's 40 degrees outside.
Well, and I might add that Brigham City isn't that far from Bountiful. I'm sure Jenny would have gladly gone to get him. Yeah,
Brigham City has hotels or motels or whatever.
I'd sleep right outside the Maddox Steakhouse. When do they open?
I would have called Christian and said, "Is your old room available? Have Papa Esparza take me in."
And they would be willing to do so.
And they would have done it. Absolutely. That honestly would have been my first thought.
So did Scotty really hit a deer? I believed
someone in front of him hit a deer, and he said he also ran over the carcass.
Okay.
And the tire company knew that Scotty had nowhere to go. Where are you going to go? We're the only tire company.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to take you for everything you're worth. And he says they did. And he says he knows they did. And he said there's really nothing he can do about it.
Is there only one car service company in Brigham City?
No, I can think of 3 off the top of my head, and one of them actually is neighbors with my parents. So I really hope that it wasn't that one.
Well, I don't know. Tow me somewhere else. Sure.
Towing is very expensive.
Sure.
But
that's what the person said to Scotty, allegedly.
Yeah. I'm reading the snap now. All right. Well, I'm eager to get further detail from our guy, Scotty G. Yeah, that's not a particularly pleasant way to spend the evening. That canyon is treacherous in a number of different ways. You ever driven that canyon in the snow?
I have not.
I have.
Yeah, not fun.
No, it's very unpleasant.
Especially now there's a barrier, a median in the middle, so you feel a little safer, but yeah, it gets scary.
Yeah, I came down that canyon in the snow once in a 2-wheel drive Tercel.
Oh, fancy.
It was a real white knuckler. Actually, it was one of those situations where my buddy Brandon was driving, and so the rest of us in the car were trying our best to not pay attention.
All of your stories involve your buddy Brandon. Who's this Brandon guy?
Oh, he's a great dude.
Is Brandon somebody you've made up? Is Brandon your alter ego?
No.
Yeah, my buddy Brandon. I got into these crazy situations with my buddy Brandon.
He and I, we have adventures.
Evil Jake.
The only time I've been a best man is at his wedding. What?
You ever see that movie Beautiful Mind?
I have.
You know how the ending is kind of a twist?
I do.
We're going to have a Brandon situation.
No, at least I don't think so. At least I really...
You ever see that movie Fight Club?
Yeah. No. If that's the case, then I guess I've been sick for a long time.
No, it's Brandon. Jake, you've been here all by yourself.
The whole time.
The whole time.
All right. Well, I hope our guy Scotty G is doing all right. Should we call him?
I'm sure he's fine.
So is that Christian is grumpy because Scotty's throwing Brigham City under the bus?
No, I'm disappointed in my hometown for treating Scotty G
For
so poorly.
swindling Scotty G.
Well, Scotty's going to take it out on Christian, so I would be worried about it too.
So I'm reluctant to pull out the radio show card, but couldn't Scotty drop a hint like?
I was just coming back from calling the Utah State Westminster game.
And I've got to get home because I've got a radio show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It'd be horrible if your tire company got put on blast.
Boy, this is quite an establishment you have here. I would love to give you guys some positive publicity.
Have you ever heard
payola? It's illegal.
You ever heard of Matt Gephardt? I can get him on the phone right now.
I could literally get Gephardt.
I could get Gephardt. I could get the old man too. I saw his face on a truck the other day.
Yeah, good biz.
So, I don't know. I hope Scotty fully puts him on blast.
Well, he already did.
They kind of deserve it.
He didn't name names yet.
He didn't name drop.
But stay tuned.
He just said bad experience in Brigham City, which pares it down to 3, apparently, according to Christian.
Yeah, not the only bad experience anyone's ever had in Brigham City, though.
I'm going to Google it. Tire shops, Brigham City.
Are you going to read them off? I can
sort by rankings. Just sort them by rankings.
Well, I'm assuming it's not. Well, all right. Looking at these brand names, I'm making a guess, but I'm not going to put them on blast yet. Right. But I'm making a guess. It's that one.
Esparza Tires.
It's Esparza Tires. I'm betting it's Christian's neighbor. No, we just have to look at the one closest to the canyon, right? That's probably it.
That's what I was just telling Lloyd.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
All right. You want to start with the Jazz, or do you want to start with the big football game? I thought the Jazz game was not the prettiest basketball I've ever seen, but there was a ton to take out of that game.
No, that was a very impressive win for the Jazz. That's a team that's going to win 25 games this year. I think talking about impressive wins seems a little bit silly, and I'm aware of that, but there's like growth that you're wanting if you're a Jazz fan. You want something tangible coming out of this rebuild, and the brightest spot by far is what Keyonte George has done this year, and it's not particularly close. If you want to say Walker Kessler's had some really, really good stretches over the last 3 years, I think that's accurate. But last night's win in particular felt like a true, and take a breath. What I'm saying is not what I'm saying. Uh-huh. It felt like a star victory. You can win games when you have a star on your team the way the Jazz won the game last night, which is you just have the best player on the floor. You don't have to be great. You don't have to execute perfectly. You don't have to be awesome in the first half. The Jazz weren't. They were down 10 at halftime, and they'd only scored 39 points. What was it? 36 points? Whatever it was. But when you have the best player on the floor, you have a chance. And Keyonte George was the best player on the floor last night. And he came out of halftime, and I think he had 10 points already at the half. He scores 16 in the third quarter just by saying, none of you guys are as good as I am. Derek White, you're an all-star. You're a stud defensive player. You can't stay in front of me. Peyton Pritchard, you have no chance to guard me. So I'm just going to take over this game because Lowry also can't get going. And they need me, and I'm going to do it. And I'm not just doing it on the offensive side of the ball, which, again, second place to take a breath. I'm not comparing the two. But took over a game at guard in a way I've not seen a Jazz guard take over a game in over a decade, which means he did it in a way that Donovan Mitchell never could do it, which is Donovan also couldn't shut down a player on the other end. And you go back and you look at what Derek White did offensively last night. It was 3 of 9 for 10 points, and it was because Keyonte wouldn't let him get past the three-point line. He'd just throw his chest into him, and he would just zigzag back and forth and be like, well, what am I supposed to do? Where do I go now?
He got switched on to Jaylen Brown a couple times even and stood him up.
He did. And Brown cooked him a couple of times too.
Did.
Now, Brown is 6'7", and that's a huge mismatch for Keyonte, and that's not where Keyonte is going to be.
But he held his own is my point.
Keyonte truly dominated a game, and the third quarter was as dominant a game as I've seen from a guard on both sides of the floor for a very long time from a Jazz player. So, where I would have told you without Walker Kessler, with how badly the team had played on Friday night and on Sunday in Charlotte and in Phoenix, that they were going to lose all the rest of the games on this road trip. And until Walker comes back, I don't know how the Jazz are going to win a game. Keyonte just said, well, if I'm the best player on the floor, you've got a chance every night. And he did that last night in Boston on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, this is not the championship-level Celtics. They don't have that extra gear. They are missing a ton of talent from last season's team. Some of them aren't even on the roster anymore. But that was a real sign of growth of not, Keyonte George got hot and made a bunch of threes and beat teams that we've seen him beat before. It was not that at all. That was a true, under control game takeover that, if he can do that consistently, changes the trajectory of the Jazz's rebuild.
I think the circumstance is relevant as well. Second night of a back-to-back and on the road for Keyonte in particular. Because I watched Brent Castile come in as a freshman at the University of Utah and said, I'm going to win the Heisman. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff. I've heard Donovan Mitchell, and no offense to Brent Castile, who turned out to be a fine player, but my point is it's one thing to say that on day one, and it's quite another to do it. I heard Donovan Mitchell talk about being better on defense 50 times.
Every month of his career?
Certainly every media day at camp.
Yeah.
I'm coming in with a defensive edge, and I'm going to get out there and are you?
Right.
It's one thing to say. So you and I sat down with Keyonte George at media day, and we heard all the right things. Mm-hmm. And we've heard all the buzz, which I've heard the buzz from that building before be
absolutely
completely inaccurate.
Yep.
But we heard the buzz. We heard about the offseason. We heard about him being here. We heard about that trip to Dallas with the teammates, and we heard it. And it's okay, all right, that's terrific. And now through the first 6 games, how many games now, 7?
7 games.
He's 1,000% delivered on all of that. Now, it's
and
one thing
more.
to do it, and more. And it's one thing to do it through 7 as opposed to 82, and he's got a long way to go. But the whole thing with Keyonte was, are you going to play? Are you going to play every night? And if the answer to that is yes, and he's figured out a way to do it, yeah, well, hey, let's see where it goes.
And you don't mean show up on the floor suiting up the way a lot of guys miss games. Keyonte plays a lot of games. You mean actually play the game the right way.
Play hard. Play like your hair's on fire.
Play like you're on a team, not you're on Team Keyonte.
And you're a leader. And and he's shown all of that. Second night of a back-to-back, everybody's dragging. That first quarter, I said to Coach Lacombe, man, it looks like they're playing in mud.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody had any bounce. And they had a really embarrassing first half, 36 points. I mean, they went into the locker room with some shame. And to have somebody say, okay, well, we're not going to go out like that.
Like that?
And they didn't.
Come out and cook let Rusty cook, come out and cook in the third quarter is truly impressive. Can I tell you my big takeaway?
Uh-huh.
Or at least the most funny / interesting thing. Not interesting, but have you ever had the yips putting? Just the yips. Or even just golfing.
Doing
the
anything.
swing
Yeah,
is just, it's a mental thing, whatever. I've got a hitch in my putt. Christian, you've had the yips? Imagine having the yips and then all of a sudden, you're playing a scramble or something and winning the tournament comes down to your putt and then actually making it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever seen a big miss more layups than Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurkic's got to be shooting 40% this year.
It was just point blank.
Yep.
And think about this, Ben. This isn't Christian shooting point blank layups. No offense to Christian. How tall are you?
5'8" on a good day.
Nurk is 7 feet tall.
7 feet, 290.
I mean, the amount of air that needs to go, the amount of distance that needs to go from Nurk's hands into the basket is 3 inches.
Yeah, not far. Yeah.
And I think he missed every single layup that game. And then all of a sudden, Key misses what was a good shot.
Yeah, tough fadeaway, but a good shot.
Tough fadeaway, but a good shot. He missed it. Nurk bullied Nimi Keita. Poor Nimi Keita got veteraned on that one.
An armpit full of the Bosnian beast.
Yeah, sure did. Poor Nimi Keita. And then for Nurkic to grab that ball and lay it in for the win. I was can't believe he made it.
Yeah, honestly. And you thought I was being facetious saying he's shooting 40% from the floor. He's shooting 39% from the floor. He's 7 feet tall. Yeah, he is dropping the ball in the basket, and he's only hitting it 4 out of 10 times.
It's the dangest thing.
Yeah, he did.
And it's happened a lot this season, obviously, but it seemed like it happened a lot last night. I mean, the whole team was missing layups in the first half.
Yep.
But Nurk missed so many layups, and then to get the game-winning layup, it's like, hey, way to go, man. You may have had the yips all 17 previous holes, but when you needed it on 18, bam, you knocked that thing down. Nailed it.
So, fun game. That was one of the things I thought we expected to see more of this season compared to last year was fun games, and they've delivered on some of that. Obviously, the first game was fun when they blew out the Clippers, and then Lowry Markkanen scoring 50 is fun for fans. And then last night I thought was just a really impressive effort. And Keyonte George is becoming somebody who's worth tuning in for. And, one of the hard things, if you've been a Jazz fan, I think over the last few years, is like you just want to tune in and see the rookies play, and that comes with a lot of ups and downs, and some guys don't ever come through, and some guys, just the process is really slow. Keyonte is now doing it on an every night basis that if you're a Jazz fan, there's something redeeming you're watching every night.
Yeah, you need somebody to set the tone with energy. The example I'll give you, Darren Williams, when he was here, was great, but his energy on the road was so crappy. And if you go look at the Jazz, those teams' road versus home records, the difference is stark.
Yeah.
And it's because he didn't always bring his normal energy on the road, and then the team took like a cue from that, and they lost a ton of games they never should have lost because they were just blah on the road. And he did. He set the tone for the team. And at home, I don't know if he just responded better to positive energy or what, but at home he was, almost a different player. Somebody's got to set the energy tone for the team on a back-to-back in Boston. And Keyonte George did it. Good for him. I mean, somebody's got to do it. And Hardy was complaining about energy the night before, complaining about it. And so Keyonte did something about it. I think it's cool. Last night's game was awesome for him. That was a great win, and he had a huge role in it. The best player on the floor, as you put it, certainly was at times.
31 points again, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He's on the season, he's averaging 23 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. So he's really putting it all together.
And going to the line 13 times.
Yeah, he's just living at the free throw line, that's the big difference. I mean, that is what has changed in his game, because if you look at him for the season, I think he's still below 30% from the three-point line, which he is usually kind of a slow starter shooting the ball. That will come up to around 34, 35. If he does that and maintains that 23-point per game average and 8 assists, and he can shoot in the mid to low 30s, hopefully not 31 if you're a Jazz fan, but in the mid 30s. If he gets to the free throw line that way, he becomes very much a De'Aaron Fox type of offensive player, and De'Aaron Fox is an all-star and, just got a max contract from the Spurs, and he's a much better defensive player right now than De'Aaron Fox has shown. And De'Aaron Fox is fine, but what Keyonte's doing is really pretty high caliber on the defensive side of the ball. I just didn't see that coming. One of my big predictions this year was that Walt Clayton was going to steal the Jazz's starting point guard job by midseason, because as much hype as I'd heard about Keyonte, I'd heard it last year. I heard a lot about it coming into camp. We saw him have a great summer league his first year in the NBA, and you just never saw the follow-through. And it's not just follow-through. It almost looks like an unfamiliar player. I mean, it's not just, he's polished some of the things that he used to do. He's doing things he never pretended to do in the past. And there's still some, off-the-dribble three-point shooting that is there, but it's not reckless. How would Keyonte George take over a game last year or 2 years ago? He would always try and shoot the Jazz back into it. Took 5 threes last night. Took 16 shots overall. That's a pretty modest performance to score 31 points, and it's because he lived at the free throw line. It was an impressive performance. The Jazz are going to have chances to win games the way they did last night if he continues to play that way throughout the year.
I talked to, Coach and I did, CJ Miles on the pregame show.
How was CJ?
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he's been good on the broadcast.
Oh man, he was really great. What a nice guy. I mean, he was nice when he was here. I shouldn't be surprised that he comes back after 16 years in the NBA, by the way.
He carved out a great career.
And is still a nice guy. But I asked him about Keyonte and his dad. And
because he's Keontae's godfather. Forgot about that.
Yeah, they have that relationship. And it was cool to watch him kind of light up a little bit. You can tell there's some pride there. But then he talked about all the things he's doing right. And all the stuff we're just talking about now and how it's clicked in for him. And CJ was interesting because he said, listen, I played every single role pretty much throughout my life and throughout 16 years in the NBA. And he could tell you a lot of stuff. That's why he said, he's coaching an AAU team, and he's like, hey, I'll still be in coaching because I can tell you. I've been there. I've done it. But every role, I've played it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was really good. I don't get a chance to hear him on TV. We see it.
Yeah. No, he's great. He really understands the game. Obviously, he played for that long and can actually talk about it. It's fun.
All right, stay tuned. We'll get to top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben on a Tuesday. That means one thing. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Hit it, Christian.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the 3. He hits. Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. We're hooking you up with a pair of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Timberwolves. Go see Rudy coming up on Monday the 10th at Delta Center. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Time for the top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, BYU basketball beat Villanova in Las Vegas. AJ Dybantsa had a big night.
Outside of poor free throw shooting, was he 2 of 7 from the line, which is unusual, but also maybe where a little bit of nerves popped up. I thought he was amazing. Honestly, I thought AJ was really incredible, and I haven't seen a ton of him play. I've watched a little bit of the U19 stuff and, kind of clips here and there. But I thought the most under control I've seen him play. My one knock on AJ as a younger player that I'd seen, he just kind of played a little bit loose. He played a little bit outside of his body, meaning, honestly, his dribble was too wide, silly things like that. He just looked really tight, in a good way. He looked really in control in this game. Finished with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was the best player on the floor. And then late, when they needed a bucket, they went to him, and he delivered. It was really impressive. 1 3-point attempt, he made it, but I love that he wasn't just saying, well, I'll just cash it in, mail it in, just gonna take a bunch of threes, whatever. I'm still going to be a top 3 pick next year. I thought it was a great debut.
He is going to have no problem getting to the rim, it would seem. I think in the NBA, he might have to round out his game a tad. In the Big 12, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's so athletic and he's big, and he's going to have no problem getting to the rim, I think.
And also, we mentioned this last year, and nothing has changed. Richie Saunders is a great player. Rob Wright looks like a pretty good player. We'll see. He was not efficient last night. Still kind of calls his number a little bit too much, in my opinion. The most important player on BYU is Keita, outside of AJ Dybantsa. Having a big that is that athletic, that can set screens like that understands kind of all the nuances of being like a big guy. You don't get to do it. If Christian's busy, we don't get to do it, and I don't want to say it. I didn't mean to say it. Is so important. And so rare at this level. There are not many guys who can do what Keita does. He doesn't need touches. He's fine just being big and athletic and running to the rim and creating gravity with that. And if he does it, it will make AJ's life really easy. He will get to the rim at will as long as Keita is on the floor with him.
I don't know him. I don't know if you've met him or whatever. Yeah, I know some people that know him, but he plays basketball with a lot of joy, it seems, and I wonder if he approaches life that way. For people who know him, if he's just one of those guys that just has a smile on his face all the time and seems to enjoy what he's doing, whatever that may be. But he certainly plays basketball that way. And I'm not saying he doesn't put on a grimace or,
sure. He's got a lot of fire.
Right, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But it seems like even when he's playing with fire, it seems like he's having a good time. I don't know. I'd be curious to talk to somebody who knows him better if he approaches life that way. But he seems to approach basketball that way.
BYU as a team did not play particularly well, especially shooting the ball, just 39% from the floor, 29% from three, and 14 of 21 from the free throw line. Again, a lot of those misses were from A.J. Dybantsa. But they were in control of that game. Villanova played well. They had a chance to win it and couldn't quite get the big basket when they needed to late in the game. But BYU is going to be a really good roster. And A.J., I mean, every game is probably going to be the worst he's going to be. You know, he's going to get better every night, and game's going to slow down for him. He's going to figure more and more out of what he can do at this level, and I don't think there's a lot of things he won't be able to.
Yeah, college basketball start of the season is always clunky. I don't know if Villanova is going to be any good.
We don't know.
It kind of doesn't matter, honestly. But I think BYU has a lot of potential if they put it together. And Kevin Young proves that he's a good coach again. I mean, I say prove like he hasn't done it before. He was terrific last year. But if he can, stitch it together and find out what works, BYU has a ton of potential. There's no doubt.
Darren Peterson for Kansas made his debut, 21 points last night, just like A.J. Dybantsa. Cam Boozer plays tonight. Koa Pete, who was a top 15 recruit at Arizona, had 31 points as a true freshman in his debut last night. We've talked about how good this draft class is and why the Jazz, even though they won last night, are not going to fight too hard to lose their draft pick to the Thunder.
Oh, that Pete fella is quite good.
He's the real deal. And
we watched that whole game in the command center.
If you go back and you remember the Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker draft, and they were thinking, oh, this thing's loaded. There's two guys at the top. And then out of nowhere, Joel Embiid jumped in and was the best player of the group, minus some back and foot injuries. Got to keep an eye on that. We can talk about Boozer and Dybantsa and Peterson, but that doesn't mean somebody else can't jump into this conversation. Again, it's why having a high draft pick in this year's draft is going to be still, I think, very important for the Jazz. But great performance from AJ last night.
And then the Utes ended up beating San Jose State.
Yeah, that's a good first game.
84-75. I have no idea how good San Jose State is.
No, but that's not. With all due respect to my Griffins, you didn't play Westminster.
Yeah, why do you got to slander Westminster just because they took a 110-54 L in Logan?
Well, it's better than what happened to Boise State, who lost to Hawaii Pacific.
D2.
79-78.
That's a tough L.
Oh, you guys lost to Hawaii. That's rough.
No. Hawaii directional.
Hawaii Pacific. I guess they got to be better than Hawaii Atlantic, but still, that's a rough loss.
It's a long flight. They're in the ACC now.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, L.J. Martin expected to play this weekend against Texas Tech.
Per Pete Thamel, about 20 minutes ago, BYU tailback L.J. Martin is expected to play this week at number 9 Texas Tech. He practiced well on Monday and is in line to play Saturday. Martin is BYU's leading rusher with just under 800 yards.
And it was the same thing with Jack Kelly, right? No offense to L.J. Martin, I think it's maybe more important for Jack Kelly to play.
Okay.
I think it's really going to be hard to run the ball against Texas Tech no matter who's back there. Again, no offense to L.J. Martin, and watch him go run for $150 and totally make me look stupid. I hope he does it. But I think if the Cougs are going to move the ball, I think it's up to the Bear. I mean, we've seen Utah's running attack.
Mm-hmm. It's elite. Truly, it's an elite running game.
Could not run the ball against Texas Tech.
Not even a little bit.
I think the likelihood of BYU having a lot of success on the ground is probably pretty low. So if they're going to put up 21 points, I think the Bears got to sling it a little bit.
The difference is, though, you cannot load the box against BYU.
Because, yeah, that's true. No, that's a great point by you.
If Chase Roberts and Parker Kingston are in
they'll make you pay.
Solo coverage, they will absolutely kill you.
Yeah.
So that's where BYU's really good and
maybe
authentic.
That's the difference. Yeah.
And maybe does have the ability to move the ball that way on the ground, whether it's Bear or whether it's L.J. Martin. But I'm glad this isn't going to come down to, these guys didn't play or this isn't available or, right. That's why this game had that outcome. Whatever happens this Saturday, I want to see a fully loaded BYU against a fully loaded Texas Tech team. This is the game of the Big 12 so far, of the Big 12 season. So really excited for it.
DJ and PK had a Big 12 guest on this morning. And I think he does a tune-in radio show about the Big 12. He seemed fairly optimistic about the possibility. He wasn't saying take it to the bank of 3 teams getting in
to the playoff.
Because the ACC is so bad.
It is.
And then he talked about how let's see, what was the scenario he laid out was basically if What? He said if BYU, even if they lose and then lose again, they would have an argument to get in, and so would Utah because they would be red hot and blowing everybody out. And you could say the same if BYU wins and then wins again. You probably could say then that Texas Tech's out. But if Texas Tech wins in the championship game, you can make an argument for a one-loss BYU team. What would that be? A one-loss, two-loss Texas Tech team and a two-loss Utah team.
If BYU wins out and Texas Tech is in the Big 12 title game, Texas Tech finishes the season with 3 losses, and that's probably good for Utah.
That he didn't mention that scenario specifically, but that would be a scenario for 2, because at that point
Right.
Texas Tech would be out.
Texas Tech is out, but Utah, even though they lost to Texas Tech, finishes the season with 2 losses, and yes, has won.
Has a much better
5,
argument.
6 straight, and their only losses are to top 25 teams, including if BYU wins out, they're going to be the number 4 ranked team in the country.
Right.
And that's suddenly not a bad loss
They'll
at all.
probably have a bye or whatever.
Yeah, and it was a 4-point loss on the road. We can't remember what the final score was.
And by the way, this is all predicated on the ACC basically not getting it an
Together.
extra team.
Yeah.
And right now, UVA sits atop that conference, which is not a good look for them.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech's going to take another loss before the end of the year when they play Georgia. And it's
so-
not in conference, but it's
And
going to be a loss.
Louisville's going to lose again, too, I would bet.
Yeah, and Miami's in a free fall.
Well, Miami's not even part of the
Mario!
conversation. He's not even part of the conversation
What'd
anymore.
you do?
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more Jacob Ben coming up next. Oh, have we not got to 3? I thought there was 3.
Why would that be 3?
Oh, what's next?
Number 3, JJ Peterka returning to Buffalo tonight.
Donor has been. This has been a good trade. Kesselring and Doan have been impactful in Buffalo, where they needed more guys. They just needed more guys that could play in the lineup and be consistent, and fewer stars at the top. And I think on the flip side, the Mammoth needed more skill on the offensive side of the puck. And I think it was honestly, it's been a very good a good trade for both teams so far.
Well, the Sabres still stink, right?
Yeah. But the Mammoth have lost 2 straight. They, and it's to good teams. It's the Oilers and Tampa Bay, who have not started the season particularly well, but have a ton of talent. See if they can right the ship tonight in Buffalo to begin another long road trip.
I told you I have a good buddy named Trevor, not Brandon, who is a big LeSabres fan. And talking to him is really funny because he is jumping on the Mammoth train, too. He's got, shares season tickets, and he's a big hockey guy in general. But it's so funny to talk to him about the LeSabres because he's very pessimistic.
I believe it.
He's very pessimistic about their whole operation. And apparently there's a lot of data to back that up. So, yeah, Peterka should be eager to make a statement. But the Donor and Kessel King, as you called him.
Not just me. Everyone called him that. He had a crown.
Including Jake.
Including me.
Including
All
Jake,
right,
yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a much-needed bye week for the Utes as they get set for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Win Ticket Wednesday. You can win big every week with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, you can get tickets to Step Into the Magic at Holiday Lights at the Ballpark at America First Square, a brand new immersive holiday tradition opening on November the 14th. Reserve your tickets at theballpark@afs.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day tomorrow for your chance to win. Ben, this can't be true. This might be fake news. I'll have to listen to this.
Okay.
Paul, this is the headline. Paul Pierce says the only way to really know if a girl loves you is to cheat on her and see how she reacts.
Christian, your thoughts?
I don't know if that's a great strategy. Christian?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's how you figure out if she's quote unquote ride or die, right? She's gonna stick with you
Now let me ask you this.
regardless.
Is there a better way than that?
No, that's the only way to do it.
Maybe start with flowers or something. I don't know.
No, that's how you become a simp, as the kids like to say. No, I want I think he's right. I think based on recent events with Paul Pierce, including being fired from ESPN by going live on social media while he was clearly under the influence of something with dancers in the background.
Yes, and not like modern dancers.
And then as recently as 2 weeks, yeah, right. This is not Martha Graham out there with the crew putting on a show. And then a month ago, saying he fell asleep in his car in a traffic jam in California when actually it was a DUI and he's been arrested and charged with that. Yeah, maybe Paul Pierce is not quite the life advice coach you need to be looking for.
Okay, to take off on that point, which I like.
But a broken clock is right twice a day.
Be careful who you take advice from. I will say from my perspective, listen, whatever lifestyle you want to live, I honestly don't care, but have a little discretion. We don't need to know.
Okay.
You know, Paul.
You don't need to reveal all your trade secrets.
A pretty wild lifestyle. You've been pretty forward about it. I don't think you need to be. I had a buddy in college whose parents were swingers. You know, whatever you want to do, but they weren't putting it up on a billboard.
Sure.
They weren't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could just. There's many people on social media, on the Snap Talk out there. You have a little discretion. You don't need to share it all. Yeah. Live whatever lifestyle you want. Mm-hmm. You don't need to snap it out 24/7. Don't go live on the Insta, whatever you're talking about, when you've got the modern dancers in the
background
and the blunts.
Yeah.
It's not hard to not hit that button.
I do like the idea of Christian. You ever been cheated on? Don't answer that question. You've only been with your girlfriend, right? Your wife right now is your longtime girlfriend. Am I right with that?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
So don't answer that question. That really brutal conversation of we've got to talk, or something happened, or I found something out, and he or she is like, well, Paul Pierce told me I had to.
Paul Pierce said this was the strategy.
I needed to know if you actually love me,
and this is how you do it.
I learned from former Washington Wizards wing Paul Pierce. Former Los Angeles Clippers forward, Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Former Kansas star, Paul Pierce.
If that's your strategy to find love, I guess more power to you, but you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to. You don't need to do.
She had a lot of tears. I told her Paul Pierce told me I was supposed to do it.
By the way, how many dates is Paul going to get now?
Well, he has money. And that's not saying that he can afford to buy dates. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's a John?
Yeah. Yes. 100% yes.
John Pierce.
And yeah, those women don't care that he's cheating on them.
John Paul Pierce. Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
All right.
It's transactional.
Well,
that's fine.
Okay. Well, we got to the bottom of that, I suppose. Christian, a local player in the NFL is on the move.
Couple of big trades.
NFL trade line later today, 2 p.m.
Trade deadline.
Yeah. Trade deadline. Rashid Shaheed got moved. Former Weber State Wildcat, going from the Saints to Seattle. Sauce Gardner, Jets standout corner, just got traded to the Colts.
For 2 first-round picks. It's a big trade.
Dude, I am telling you. Did you see Darnold slinging it this week?
Yeah.
Or your boy Daniel Jones? Obviously, these two teams, the Colts making moves. If I'm an NFL team, I'm farming the bozo franchise's leavings. I use this comparison with a guest. I'm mining the tailings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the Jets move off you, I'm giving you a second chance.
Yeah.
If the Browns give up on you, I'm kicking the tires.
The Giants losing Daniel Jones, who's turning into a borderline MVP candidate, and the running back with the
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. It's a real kick in the chest.
And you know what? The Giants have always really been poorly run, and they've covered it up a little bit with a couple of Super Bowls here and there, but it doesn't mean that they are a great franchise, and they're better than the Jets, so that helps too.
Put one in the win column for daughters taking over ownership of their NFL franchise from their fathers. The Allens that own Seattle still, right? Have done a decent job keeping that thing afloat.
Not with the Blazers, but
not with the Blazers. They just sold the Blazers, but they've kept the Seahawks somewhat relevant when they really could have collapsed. And what the Colts are doing right now, post Jim Irsay, is really impressive. That group of his daughters, I think it's 3 of them. At least it's one of his daughters. Is
Well,
done a nice
the one
job.
is the face of it, but it is all 3 of them, I think, have a role. But I got to tell you, I love that you brought this up because when I first saw her, like the video of her on the sidelines, I thought, okay, Daddy's girl is kicking in the door, and we're doing this my way, you know? And then you know what I saw, Ben? She pulled out a dang notebook, and she started taking notes. And I was like, okay, well, this is either somebody who's like, okay, I'm going to know this thing if I'm going to do this job, or this is somebody taking notes on, well, we've got to change the brand of hot dog at the concession stand. And it appears that she is taking an active role in like a truly positive way.
Yeah, the Colts are one of the great stories in the NFL this year.
The old man was a bit of a wingnut. He had his good moments and his bad. But he wasn't a bad owner. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Good moments and bad,
Yeah.
but he wasn't necessarily a bad owner. He was pretty good at running that franchise. And I think it's a cool story because you see a lot of it the other way, where the next generation takes it over and is just morons. See that guy in with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And it appears that she's not that, so that's cool. And if the Allens are running the Seahawks well, good for them.
Yep.
They did not do a good job with the Blazers.
No, good to get rid of that team.
Yeah, that's better for the NBA. I mean, she hired Chauncey Billups after all.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. Yikes. All right, stay tuned.
Power poll
Is next. It's Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who is climbing? Who is falling? And who just flat out stinks?
Some of y'all football sucks.
This is the Big 12 Power Poll with Jake and Ben on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Make this Thanksgiving unforgettable with Kenny J's Barbecue. Skip the stress and bring home slow smoked perfection. Pre-order your Thanksgiving meal today. Text 801-230-5396. And come eat with Hans and Scotty coming up tomorrow from noon to 3 at Kenny J's in the district. Ben and I can both attest the food is quite good.
Amazing. I really love it.
It's making me hungry, in fact.
Yeah.
Time for the Big 12 Power Poll, where we rank all 37 teams in the Big 12 from bottom to top.
You're not kidding. I was making sure I had the records right for all these teams, and one of the teams that says ranked 13th in the Big 12. I thought, how are there that many teams in any conference? 13 teams in the Big 12. Pretty good. Anyways, speaking of not pretty good.
Not pretty good. Number 16, Oklahoma State.
Quite bad, actually.
Can we just skip to like 4?
Oklahoma State, 1-8. Lost to Kansas, 38-21. Great news. Bye week this weekend. So they will be 1-8 the next time we talk about them. I've enjoyed not talking about Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but we're still talking about them.
Yeah, but we do it once a week for 22 seconds, and that's all they deserve. But that was a weird team. I enjoyed the bizarreness of the Gundy experience that we had for a couple of years, but it's gone now, and I don't know if Oklahoma State's coming back.
Number 15, West Virginia.
Should we have had West Virginia higher? They did just crush Houston.
Yeah, what's up with you
Yes,
guys?
I had them at 13. I don't know what. Hey, West Virginia, 2 of those 3 wins are quote unquote good wins.
Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pitt, who's
And-
currently second in the ACC,
And Houston.
who brought at least a decent record into the game. I'm not saying West Virginia's winning the national title, but does Central Florida have 2 better wins than that? I doubt it.
They have more wins than that, though.
I
is
know,
the
but
difference.
hey, don't be college football playoff committee and get caught up in the record 100% of the time. You beat Pitt and Houston. Those are 2 decent wins.
Oh, did they not get resorted? Let me do this really quick. Hold on here. Hold on. Oh, you're right. See, we did this right. Give me 2 seconds.
Very
Christian,
confused.
Data. Sort range. Z to A. Why did that not work? Hold on. Sorry, this is good radio. I know it is.
Here, I'm going to
We
bring
can
up.
move to the real number 15.
Hold on. I can do it.
It's Central Florida.
Start over, Christian.
Well, we know Oklahoma State is
Yeah,
still
There we
last.
go.
Here's Central Florida's wins, including one over West Virginia, which is funny. But Jacksonville State, North Carolina A&T, and then they do have a win over the adult novelty heiress, 34-9.
Okay, so to clarify, Oklahoma State is at 16. 15 is Central Florida.
Uh-huh.
Central Florida 4-4 lost to Baylor 30-3. They are behind West Virginia, who actually did make a jump after beating Houston. So apologies. Central Florida is at number 15. Christian, what's next?
Number 14, Colorado.
3-6 lost to Arizona 52-17.
Got dump trucked by Arizona. It's not going well for old Dion.
No, it's fallen apart. I wonder if he will depart after the season. Maybe not. I mean, they keep paying him, and he'll be happy to have the money.
Well,
but
they're not going to fire him.
No, they're not. So
I mean, honestly, and I'm no Deion Sanders as a coach fan, but they'd be crazy to fire him. There's still more juice in Boulder than there had been in decades.
to the point, they play West Virginia this weekend, and people will pay attention because Deion Sanders is coaching, and these are two of the worst teams in a very okay conference.
So I know Deion's had some health stuff, and he's dating a pop star, but unless he wants to go anywhere.
Yeah, unless he goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
But he may want to take a year off, focus on his health, and then try and find a better job.
Next.
Now, at number 13, we get to West Virginia.
And they have, like I
That
said,
makes more sense.
they have 2 decent wins. Like beating Pitt and beating Houston are decent wins. We're
That
not
was my
talking
fault.
about knocking off Ohio State, but West Virginia has shown life this year.
I think this is right. I think they're better than Oklahoma State. I think they're better than Central Florida. I think they're better than Colorado. I think that's totally fair. And yes, we all gave them a boost of at least 2 spots or at least 1 spot in their latest rankings. I'm not a huge believer, certainly in what West Virginia is doing, but yeah, beating Houston soundly at Houston is a good win.
Next.
Number 12, Kansas.
You know what's interesting about them? Nothing.
Arizona this weekend. I think they'll lose. I do think they have a chance to go to a bowl game.
Awesome. Number 11,
Hey, they would have killed for that for a long time at Kansas.
Iowa State up next.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. This team stinks. Just lost to Arizona State with their backup quarterback. 19 points. Matt Campbell doing the Matt Campbell special.
I believe that's 4 losses in a row.
Now say the same thing about Texas Tech with the disdain about Arizona State in your voice.
They did. Arizona State did. Well, we're not talking about Arizona State. We're talking about Iowa State.
I know, but you just
5
such
and 4.
disdain lost to Arizona State. My Lanta,
No,
they're
I
terrible.
didn't. I don't think I mentioned Arizona State. It's that they've lost, 4 in a row, that they were number 1 in this poll for a while, and just can't get it together. The offense absolutely is horrendous. They were fake the whole time. Tricked me again. I'm not buying into Matt Campbell teams anymore. I think he's a pretty good coach, but
Well, they did win the league like 2 years ago. But yeah. Next.
Number 10, Baylor.
5-4 beat Central Florida 30-3 on a bye week this weekend.
Yeah, I think they're going to take an L to the Utes. I don't think Baylor is for real. But I don't think Central Florida's for real, so I don't know. What do you do with that game?
Nothing. You forget about
Not
it.
a thing. Yep. Next.
Number 9, Kansas State.
4-5, lost to Texas Tech 43-20, jumped out early, and people thought maybe there's a chance, and then you realize no.
Was it both of you that thought Kansas State was going to beat Texas Tech?
Oh, it was me
No,
for
Jake
sure.
thinks Texas Tech's a bad football
I
team.
think they're going to lose every game.
I know Kansas State is a average to bad football team, so no, I expected
I do
Texas Tech
think
to win that game.
Kansas State is good enough to sneak up on teams still, and Utah still has to play Kansas State, so they should keep that in mind. Avery Johnson is a fine running quarterback that can do to you what Utah likes to do to teams. I don't know if I'd predict that, but I do think Kansas State is capable of winning.
The fact that that game's at Utah is a bad omen for Kansas State.
Next.
Number 8, Arizona.
They've had a pretty reasonable season.
Yeah,
Considering how bad last year was.
I like Brent Brennan. I liked him when they hired him, and I know it didn't go all that well, and I think it's going better. I still think you could make an argument he's the right man for the job there in Arizona. He still has the opportunity to do maybe not awesome things this year, but I mean, Jed Fish leaving was tough. They had to hire the next guy because they can't afford to fire anybody. So maybe Brennan's got it going.
They can move to bowl eligibility with a win over Kansas this weekend. I would expect they get it. They're at home. And they did to Colorado what you should do to Colorado, beating them 52-17.
Next.
Number 7, Houston.
Dropped 4 spots, and rightfully so. You can't lose at home to Central Florida when you are
West
potentially
Virginia.
to West Virginia. Excuse me. They play Central Florida this weekend. You can't lose to West Virginia when you're in potentially the driver's seat to go to the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, and the way they lost wasn't great either because it's not like it was competitive and they blew it.
And they're a defensive
they legit
team.
got beat at home by West Virginia. So
They rolled 45 points at home to West Virginia.
yeah, that's not good.
It was pathetic.
Next.
Number 6, Arizona State.
Beat Iowa State 24-19. They go into a bye week. They are sitting on 6 wins. And what has been far from a good season, it's a good sign that Arizona State's kind of down year is easily going to coast into bowl eligibility, and they will probably pick up a few more wins to the point where Kenny Dillingham's a good coach. He's got that program in a really good spot.
If you have a good coach, the bottom you hope isn't so bad. Like you can't win 10 games every year. I mean, some schools can, but there's like 3 of them.
Not pretending it was a good season last year for Utah. It wasn't. But if it feels like the bottom is completely fallen out and you win 5 games still, you're probably an okay program. And that's probably what Arizona State's going to be dealing with. Even in a disastrous year, if you lose your quarterback and you don't have health for anybody, which was the case for Utah last season, you still win 5. And for Arizona State now, at least 6.
Oh, they're 6-3, and they've beat the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
good year.
It's
Certainly
a
not
decent
a great year.
It's not bottoming out Colorado style.
Correct.
Which it's tough to get off the mat when you bottom out Colorado style.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Dilly's a good coach. Next.
He should be looked at by some of these SEC schools that have open jobs.
I don't think he'd leave Arizona
I don't
State.
know if he would either, but the right job.
There might be a little wit there that he has a recipe to win at Arizona State. He knows what it is, and he's confident it will succeed. His act might not. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but it might not work as well somewhere else.
You're right.
All right, next.
Number 5, Jake's Cincinnati Bearcats.
Tough loss for the Bearcats.
Expected. They were horrible. They're not a real team. They're worse than Houston. This is a mediocre football team that hadn't played anyone all year and skated through.
I had to move him down 2 spots.
You had to move them down to just barely in front of Texas Tech.
I moved him down to 3. I don't think they had their best game against Utah. It's true.
They're not good. They are on a bye week now, so they have to sit with that loss for 14 days before Sorsby gets back on the field.
He was the difference. The Utah really played well and made him look average. I don't think he is average, honestly. I know you're super down on the Bearcats. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, and Utah made him look pretty bad. And I'm not saying that he's Jared Goff because he's not, but I remember when Jared Goff came to Rice-Eccles Stadium and game day was there, and Jared Goff threw like 5 interceptions or something like that, and Utah made him look pretty mediocre.
Or
and then
worse.
and then he goes and is the number 1 pick in the draft, you know. I don't think Sorsby is what he represented himself against the Utes. I think the Utes made him have a long day.
Utah can do that to teams.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily a reflection of Sorsby's
I don't
future.
think Goff was a bad quarterback. I think Utah made him have a long day. That's kind of my take on Sorsby.
Cincinnati, after their bye week, closes the season with Arizona, BYU, and TCU. How many of those games do they win? Those are good teams. All those are pretty good teams. They go 1-2. They go 2-1. I don't think they're going 3-0.
They're not. I give them the benefit of the doubt with 2-1 right now.
I'd say beating Arizona and TCU. That'd be good. That'd be a good close. That'd be a good year.
Next.
Number 4, Texas Christian. TCU.
Yeah, I don't know. Why are they number 4?
Because the rest of the league is pretty average, at best. They'll take on Iowa State after their bye week. Or, this weekend. They had the bye week this past week. So they should be well rested and beating an Iowa State team that's seemingly falling apart at the seams. So I'm going to take TCU in this game to move to 7-2, which is a sneaky good season for a team that probably isn't getting a lot of run right now in the Big 12.
Next.
Number 3, the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I still had Texas Tech at 2. Christian had bumped them down to 3.
Well, Christian had them at 5 last week, so that's moving up. I had them down at 4. I think they lose by 20 this week.
To BYU?
Yeah.
You think they're going to get smoked?
I think the Bear pantses them on national TV.
The closer we get to this game, the more I do think BYU is going to win this weekend, which is not maybe how I felt 2 or 3 weeks ago, but BYU just continues to look better and get more impressive week in and week out. And now you come off a bye week. Both of these teams, or BYU is, that should give them an edge, especially if LJ Martin's playing.
I think they should have a lot of confidence offensively going up against the Raiders. And I got it that the Raiders have a pretty good defense, but the Bears look great. BYU's defense has been a little leaky for a couple of weeks. It's been really great at times, but then at other times, that Iowa State team you were crapping all over, really ran up and down the field for the first half.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't think they can get away with that against Texas Tech. I made the joke yesterday, key for BYU is to get down 20 early. And I don't think they can get away with that against the Raiders. So
BYU is going to have to play their best game of the season to win on Saturday at 10 a.m. But I think they absolutely have all the tools to do it.
Next.
Number 2, the Red Hot Utah Utes.
7-2, crushed Cincinnati 45-14. They haven't beaten the best teams on their schedule. They destroyed basically everybody else.
They've got a recipe for success. They do. What they're good at, they're really good at it. And Cincinnati wasn't good enough to make them pay.
I don't have any idea how we have Utah ahead of Texas Tech on this poll.
Well,
but
I think they're better. Devin Dampier had to tape his leg on to play against the Raiders. Are you kidding? They're lucky they scored at all.
I did have the thought that, do you say that so when they are debating at the end of the college football playoff, final rankings, they say, well, the Texas Tech loss, there was an injury there. Remember, they kept undefeated Florida State out because their quarterback was hurt.
Because this just in. People are dumb. Yeah.
So you just sprinkle that out there. Who cares? Create false content. Now, I do think he was actually a little
Devin
beat
Dampier
up in
was
that
playing
game,
with 4 toes in that game.
But that's not the reason they lost to Texas Tech. But why do you care? Just throw that out there. Be like, yeah, everyone had COVID on the team.
I came away unimpressed with the Raiders, honestly, after that game against the Utes.
Okay. We'll see what they do this weekend at home.
Well, number 1, BYU.
Coming off a bye, 8-0, one of 4 undefeated teams in the country on the road at Texas Tech, top 10 matchup. The games BYU fans have been dreaming of since they left Independence. This is everything you want.
Is Big Noon and Game Day going to be there?
I don't think both can be.
Why not?
That might be illegal.
Illegal, like it's been legislated against.
You never know these days.
The game is actually on Big Fox, right?
It is, but it's at 10 a.m.
Uh-huh.
So that would conflict with...
Why would Game Day go to the Big Noon game and Big Noon not go to the Big Noon game?
Where is Big Noon? Big Noon Saturday this weekend. Oof. Okay.
Armpits going to Iowa?
Oregon at Iowa.
Oh, no, that's Big Noon. That's
Yeah, that's Herb.
No, Game Day is in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave Portnoy is going to be trying the fine pizza of Iowa.
Man, he's been married to Utah pizza for about a month now.
Recap. Tippy toes.
Top 10, number 10, Baylor. Number 9, Kansas State. Number 8, Arizona. Number 7, Houston. Number 6, Arizona State. Number 5, Cincinnati. Number 4, TCU. Number 3, Texas Tech. Number 2, Utah. Number 1, BYU.
I think there are 3 pretty good teams at the top of this conference. I think the rest of the conference is not very good. Maybe I don't know what to make fully of TCU, but that's the problem when all these teams don't play each other. You don't really get a sense of who's who. But the nice thing is Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah all get to play each other this year. It's the 3 heavyweights actually fighting, so we should have an idea of who's the best team here.
That concept you're talking about is the most annoying in the Big Ten, right? We can agree that the good teams in the Big Ten never play each other.
And that's not entirely true. Oregon had to play Indiana, but Indiana does not have to play Iowa State. So how do we know until the conference championship game?
Iowa.
Indiana does not have to play Ohio State.
Ohio State, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Did I
going to
say Iowa State?
Iowa State is in the Big 12.
In the Big 12. Indiana does not have to play Ohio State in conference play this year.
See, Iowa and Ohio, different states.
Different.
Entirely.
But you can see how I messed them up. We've been talking a lot about Iowa State and how Big Noon Saturday is going to Iowa.
Well, one's truly a Midwestern state.
Uh-huh.
What would you classify Ohio as?
That's
What do they
definitely
call
Midwestern.
that?
Absolutely.
I thought there was a more specific word for that particular region. It's not the. Is it? That's not the Rust Belt.
No, that's full Midwest. Ohio? Yeah.
But not Iowa. Not the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm somewhat trying to bring up Indiana's schedule just to see who they have left out of sheer curiosity. At Penn State, Wisconsin at home, at Purdue.
Penn State's a team that has a football team on
program.
Their school.
Our friend Mickey Mental coming up next, coach at Weber State. Stay tuned, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you to join Hanson Scotty G coming up today at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. It's time to talk some Weber State football with the coach. Hit it, Christian.
It's time to catch up with the head coach of the Weber State Wildcats, Mickey Mental, presented by Belliston Jewelry on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Belliston Jewelry designs and manufactures fine jewelry right here in Utah. Discover the new Belliston Love Collection, exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Belliston Jewelry, locally made just for you, cherished for generations. He is the head coach at Weber State. He is Mickey Mental with us here on Jake and Ben. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing?
We're doing well. Tough game against Montana. They jumped out early with the big 21-3 lead. They are undefeated on the season. You guys have traditionally had a lot of success against this Montana team, but what did you see over the weekend from the Grizzlies?
Like you said, man, they're a really good team. Coach Houck does a fantastic job. They're good at all three phases: offense, defense, special teams, and just can't give guys that type of lead early on and try to hang in there.
Not to dwell on the Grizzlies necessarily, but I'm always interested in program building and what built-in advantages there are at certain places in college football. Why do you think that they've been able to sustain such a good program in Missoula for so long?
One, I think the culture, the program is tradition itself in Montana. I mean, it's them Montana State, right? So I think that has a huge thing to do with it. Secondly, I think consistency, continuity within a coaching staff. Bobby's been there a long time. Done a really good job, and then obviously they get good players and they coach well. So I think all those factors coming together is why they're always up at the top.
Coach, you got a chance to see Kingston Tisdale get kind of extended play for the first time this season, the first time of his career. Fans always want to see the freshman come in, and they want to think that there's kind of untapped potential there that nobody has seen. What are you looking for, and maybe what are you not looking for from a freshman when they step in for the first time in this experience?
Making sure the game's not too fast for them. Erratic decisions, turning the ball over, not managing situations. I thought he did a really good job in all of those phases. Gave us a chance to throw the ball down the field, create some explosive plays, and not take negative yardage plays. So that's got to continue. Obviously, both of those guys I feel very confident with. So just got to put them in really good situations moving forward.
Do you feel like you know what to expect from a freshman when they at any position, but quarterback so difficult? Do you feel like you have a pretty good sense of what you're going to see, or is there always a little bit of a guess in the first live action?
There's always a guess. You never know what you got until the live bullets, because it's hard to go live with a QB during camp and all that, and you don't want to lose anybody. But we did a couple of live situations with them, but fans, situations, that whole deal, it's not the same defense every day you saw in practice during camp. So have a good idea, but until you really throw them in the fire, you really don't know what you got.
Speaking of throwing them in the fire, what do you tell young players, freshmen, maybe players who haven't done it before, about playing in a big-time environment like I'm expecting, or I guess you're expecting from Montana State this weekend? Were your habits and your intent throughout the year proper so you can just go play, or were you skipping steps? If you're skipping steps in the process, then obviously I think it's going to be hard for you to play as well as you need to. And for him individually, I thought he's done a really good job throughout the season of making sure he's ready to go, preparing like a starter throughout that whole process.
Some injury issues with our Cavaliers, but Donovan comes back and has the big game, and now it looks like Darius Garland's going to be available this week. Still feeling confident even after a slow 4-3 start?
Oh, it's the NBA. Nobody cares about the regular season. No, I don't know, man. It just make sure you're healthy by the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, specifically for Donovan, if we want to talk about Donovan Mitchell, that's when he needs to get it done to go to the next level. That's for sure. All right, Weber
100%.
State. Weber State's got a tough one this weekend, going on the road at Montana State, then at Idaho State before finishing at home against Northern Arizona. He is the coach of the Wildcats, Mickey Mental. Coach, thank you for your weekly visit. We always look forward to it.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
Some excitement with Kingston Tisdale. Came in and honestly played pretty well against a very good team in Montana. I'll be curious what this weekend's lineup looks like and who gets the start at quarterback. But 12 of 27, not a great completion percentage, but has the big touchdown, 143 yards. If you can move the ball through the air, which has been an issue for the team.
Coach had to look at the schedule and go, Montana State back-to-back. Come on. Give me a couple of weeks in between those two juggernauts.
And hard to throw the freshman out there in that situation.
You know what? I'll tell you, the argument that fan support is super important to building a program, look at Montana and Montana State. They're both incredibly well supported and have been both good for a really, really long time. And I think it's just as interesting to watch on the Big Sky level as it is the Big 12 level.
There is a little bit of what people have credited the Jazz home crowd for being good at, which is there's nothing else going on. There's nothing else to do. And that happens at both Missoula and Bozeman.
Especially in the later months when it gets really cold.
It gets really cold. You're not close to anything. Those places are pretty spread out unless you're going to.
No, they're very spread out.
Jackson Hole, which is several hours away. Yeah. There's not a lot of fun things to do. No, it's a cool town. It's a great town. It's a good college town to hang out in. But Saturday.
That's what you're doing.
What are you doing? You're going to the football game. So it is it's just going to funnel people there. It's just an event. There's things to do there. It's a great campus, and they're both very much college towns, so it's what they revolve around.
All right, it's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Let's give away some of those tickets. Hit it, Christian.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the three. He hits. Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, caller number 12, 801-575-ZONE. We're giving you a pair of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Timberwolves on Monday, the 10th, at Delta Center. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Did you tell me Tom Brady cloned his dog?
Christian told us that.
You're a dog. You're a dog person. Would you ever clone your dog?
I would not. I think there's a real dignity in having a life and it being one of one.
Even for dogs.
I think everything has a little bit of dignity. I think especially because, you create a bond with your pet and you respect the time and the gift they gave you of being around you, and then you let them go. And that's part of the process.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think Tom's the kind of narcissist that would freeze his own head or clone himself?
Go Walt Disney style? Yeah.
Did
absolutely.
Walt freeze his head?
Yeah, Walt's frozen. Yeah, he's still in the crypt somewhere.
I knew Ted Williams' kid had his head frozen. I didn't know Walt did that.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. They say it's false.
Oh, that's fake news?
I thought he was cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, that seems like a Tom thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the whole TB12 has got to be he thinks he can live forever.
You think there's a cloned person out there?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, nobody knows. That's what I'm asking you. Which side of the fence do you fall on? Of course we don't know.
What, they've cloned a sheep and they're cloning dogs
sheep,
and stuff?
We can clone animals.
I think somebody got loose and cloned a human? I don't know.
People are weird. All I know is that people are weird, and if it's possible, it's probably been done. We've learned we can clone animals.
Well, one advice I'd give from the movie Multiplicity is don't clone a clone, because then it comes out a little dim.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe Tom Brady's a clone of the other Tom Brady. Maybe the real Tom Brady, the Super Bowl winner, has passed on or is being held captive somewhere, and this is the clone, and that's why we're getting...
That's why he's such a bad announcer?
Yeah, the Xerox of the Xerox.
Okay.
There was a TV show about that, and Tom Brady made a cameo in it, actually.
About?
Well, Paul Rudd was in it, and the idea was he was cloning himself to stay young or get younger or
Okay.
whatever. And there's a cameo where he like walks past Tom Brady and he's like, "Hey."
Have you seen Multiplicity, Christian?
No.
It's worth it.
It's a movie from the mid-'90s starring Michael Keaton.
Who's his wife?
Oh, who is it? in that
Andy
movie?
McDowell?
It's someone like that. Like that.
Anyway.
Like that?
Yeah, he clones himself a bunch of times.
And it's
so he doesn't have to
actually-
work that hard.
It's actually an extremely dull movie until like the last 10 minutes.
It has some funny moments, but yeah, I agree with you. It's maybe not quite, certainly not Harold Ramis's best, who did Groundhog Day. And yeah, it is Andy McDowell.
Good call by you.
Yeah, good pull.
Christian Andy McDowell is an actress made famous probably about that same period, I would say, maybe even a little earlier.
Groundhog Day. Her daughter's super famous now. Daughter's a real star.
Carl McDowell?
Yeah, her daughter Carl.
What's her daughter's name? I don't know.
Her daughter is, sorry, we're going off the rails
Hollywood
a little bit.
names their kids all
Margaret
sorts
Qualley.
Okay, Margaret. I'd like that name, obviously.
Yeah. She was in The Substance last year.
Why didn't she use the last name McDowell?
Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? The Tarantino?
I did.
She's in that. She's one of the women on the ranch.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That was an interesting movie.
Yes, it was. You should see The Substance. Now, that's an interesting film.
All right, stay tuned. We'll wrap up the show coming up next. Shout out to Andy McDowell.
She's in Happy Gilmore, too.
Why did you even have to bring that up? It's got to be the worst movie ever made. Have you seen it
I
yet?
told you. I turned it on. He's talking to the kids at the breakfast table, and I fell asleep, and they were at the golf tournament at the very end. I missed literally 90% of the movie, if not more, 95% of the movie. I saw the opening 40 seconds and the last 40 seconds, and I slept throughout the rest of it. I did like that you spoiled it the day the movie came out.
What? All I said it was bad.
No, you didn't.
No, you definitely threw a major spoiler in.
A hinge point of the entire movie. You dropped right on everybody. Right
I don't even remember doing that.
Yeah, it was funny.
Well, I spared everyone from seeing it because don't.
Yeah.
And even if you do see it, you're just encouraging them to make more. So just don't.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. More next. We'll wrap up the show. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go!
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It doesn't get much bigger than this. BYU and Texas Tech. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Woo, 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 woo. Two niggas on the airways, talking sports. They got him made Jakes and also loves his tie guy. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my.
Hi, this is Preston in Idaho Falls. This message is for Jake and Ben regarding your discussion about on Monday about Whit retiring. I think I can see Ben's point for one reason only. I golf, and as happens almost every single time I go out and golf around, it's mostly frustration, but then there is that one shot that just sits up against the horizon and falls right where I want it to, and I think, I like this game. I'm going to play again. And I wonder if these last couple of wins, just the way that Whit wanted to win, imposing his will, letting the defense just dominate, is that going to do the same thing to him? Maybe. I can kind of see the point.
All right. Shout out to Preston from Idaho Falls, not Preston from Preston, Idaho.
Or not, yeah.
So Preston from Idaho Falls. Shout out to Preston.
Yeah, Witt's
Thanks
had a
for
great
listening.
17th and 18th hole.
This segment, by the way,
He's really figured it out.
brought to you by Peach Doors and Windows. Amazing home transformations begin with Peach, where 5-star reviews are the norm. Call them today for your free in-home estimate, 801-566-1255. That's not the way. By the way, to reset the convo, Ben thought the way these games are going might encourage Whittingham to stay on for another year.
I thought the way they beat
retire.
Cincinnati was dominating enough and showed that Witt can still win big games in dominant fashion that he might say, what's one more year?
And Preston, not from Preston, I thought was going to go a different direction when he started bringing up golf, because what Whit has told us is that the golf is what's important. And I'm using golf as
a metaphor.
A metaphor for retirement lifestyle. He was saying he does not want to be Joe Pa coaching into the grave, and that he does want the golf, so to speak. So I thought Preston, not from Preston, was going a different direction. But I can now see what he's saying. Sure, you hit that one on 18 where you're like, okay, let's re-rack another 18.
Yeah, right.
Let's get out there and do it again.
Yeah, I didn't think I had it in me to keep playing, but I want to come back tomorrow.
So I get his point. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you ever want to participate, use the call-in feature on the KSL Sports app. And we never want to exclude our podcast listeners. So don't worry, we'll play them. We play them the next day like we did with Preston. Just make sure, like Preston, not from Preston, did there, and identify yourself as a Jake and Ben listener, thus ruining your excellent take for the rest of the station.
I wonder if Preston catches us via streaming either on YouTube or on the app. I mean, you must use the app because you use the call-in feature.
We may make it to Idaho Falls during the day.
Think so?
Well, his call-ins come in later at night, so I think he's
podcasting. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh, perfect example. Preston, not
Even
from Preston.
better.
Send us in call-ins.
Preston, not from Preston, from the future.
From the future.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, now the past.
Yeah. My mind is blown.
And now the present, really, because we just played it.
Sure. But he won't know that until the future.
So Preston,
at which point this will be in the past.
Preston, not from Preston, is operating in all tenses.
Yeah. We found a rip in the space-time continuum with Preston, not from Preston, listening in the future to the past.
Got to tell you, I'm so confused right now. Go back to then. When? Now. When now is then. I love that movie so much. Keep firing, a-holes.
Spaceballs?
Yeah. Don't you remember that part where they plug in the movie and he's like, go back to then. When is then? Now. Fast forward past this. Never show this again. You remember what I'm talking about?
I do.
All right.
Again, this was the experience I had with Spaceballs, was one of the stranger ones in my life, which was my dad recorded it off of broadcast television, which is one experience of a movie. And then when I was like 16, I was like, oh, yeah, we should watch this movie. It's hilarious. I watched it a bunch growing up. It's a totally different movie when it's edited versus unedited.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Yeah. I had the same experience with Stripes.
Different?
Very different. Stripes, way more different.
Okay, there was this weird part in film, like a period in filmmaking where they would sandwich two movies into one. You can find several examples. Full Metal Jacket is one.
Yeah, it is.
Where the second half and the first half are completely different movies.
Yep, Stripes, same thing.
And Stripes is one of those movies where the first half of it, where they're in boot camp.
It's funny. It's almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Just like Full Metal Jacket.
It is. Yeah, that's true. The first part where they're in boot camp is actually pretty funny. The second half, where they go to Europe or do it, is
where do they invade?
Is maybe the worst movie ever made.
Same thing with Full Metal Jacket. First half in training camp is captivating. The war stuff less so.
Still better than
anything with
Stripes.
Sure.
Yeah, the second half not as good as the first. Still better.
Kubrick had it, yeah.
Still better than the second half of Stripes. And I love John Candy.
And then there's
it was only
like,
in the first half.
There's movies like Funny People. Funny People.
The Barbra Streisand one?
No. Funny People is the Adam
Funny
Sandler
Girl.
movie. Funny People is the Adam Sandler movie.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, and it's with Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen starts writing jokes for him. That's also two different movies. The first half is Seth Rogen's writing jokes for Adam Sandler. The second one is Adam Sandler's trying to get back together with his ex-wife.
Oh, I remember that movie.
And
that movie was terrible.
Both sides.
So bad.
Yeah, I saw two bad movies this weekend. Funny People. Yeah, they were.
Oh, I remember watching that on
like 3 hours long.
Date night when I was first dating my wife, and I remember being angry after it was over. It was so bad. Yeah. Like angry. It's called Funny People. Where was the funny?
Where's the jokes?
Where's the funny? I saw a bunch of sad sack Adam Sandler and not funny other guy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then it was a Judd Apatow joint.
It's when we really had lost it. It's when we Judd didn't have it anymore.
Any more big-time trades that have gone down, Christian, as NFL trade deadline approaches? Sauce Gardner on the move from the Jets. Rashid Shaheed on his way to Seattle. Anything else?
The Raiders traded Jacoby Myers to the Jaguars.
Why do the Jaguars keep buying? They've been buyers so far. Now, didn't they have like 15 draft picks this year? So they're unloading some of those.
Salazar.
And, they have a good record. I think they can make a push.
Okay.
Salazar, how are we feeling about the Raiders giving up on Jacoby Myers? It's okay. How does Xavier feel about the Raiders giving up on Jacoby Myers? Because he actually is a fan, and you're dead inside. You got to imagine that he's pretty broken up about it, right? It's like the only good player on the team other than Max Crosby.
Christian, other than a new quarterback, what do our Broncos need?
There's some traction about potentially trading for a wide receiver, so that would be fun.
Okay, you should get Tim Patrick back. Yeah, any names you're looking for?
Jalen Waddle would be cool.
Yeah,
I think that's a pipe dream.
I don't think Miami's trading him, right?
I never know.
I really think the Donks should put John Elway back in charge.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. See, Salzar in there saying, yeah. I think that's the key. What's John Elway doing these days? If they put him,
not great.
It's
not great headlines.
It's like the Pacers bringing Larry Bird back as GM.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a lot better after he left. But you know what? Let's bring him back. They won the Super Bowl with what's his name?
Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Cooper's brother.
Arch's uncle.
Yeah, that one. The one with the fused on neck.
Uh-huh.
The one that lost his head and then they had to solder it back on.
Yeah, kind of looks like Frankenstein now. Has to turn his whole shoulders to move.
Yeah. All right. It's Scotty G are coming up next. Is Scotty going to sell out the tire joint?
Yeah, what's going on with the tires?
Do we know? Is he going to put them on blast?
I texted Scotty. Scotty is pretty notorious for not ever answering texts. So, TBD.
Oh, man, I'm going to be listening. I hope he just creams them. Go get him, Scotty G. All right, stay tuned.
Thanks, Christian.
Those guys are coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.